very much. I'm always really happy to be in Birmingham, and I'm happy to be here today on behalf of UCU. First of all, I'd like to thank all the UCU members here who are now on their 5th day of strike action to defend their pensions. And I'd like also to mention our colleagues in London in UCU who are now on their 6th day of action in the I always do this because I'm sure there's some students here. We teach people from 16 to 100 and beyond. So if there's any students here, I'd also like to thank any students and all the students who have given us some magnificent support throughout this dispute and have been on every march, who have been on every rally. And when the government says that we're damaging their education, we know that we're fighting to give quality education to those students, and that's why they're supporting us all over the country. I'd also like to say on behalf of UCU that we're really proud to be standing alongside Unite and PCS and this ongoing campaign and this struggle to let the government know that their so-called final offer to us is completely unacceptable, and that they must come back to the table to negotiate just and a fair settlement of this dispute. And I'd really like to focus on fairness today, because this government talks a lot about fairness, doesn't it? So I'd like to concentrate on fairness. When this first started, the government said that it was going to be fair, and what it did was to introduce a completely draconian and regressive set of proposals for our pension scheme, which had nothing to do with the economies of the scheme. And once again this morning, I don't know if you probably watched the television, but once again this morning we had the customary coalition minister trotted out onto the Westminster turf to peddle again the myths and the dogmas that the pension scheme needs reforming, that there isn't enough money, that, God forbid, we're all living far too long, and that because because our comrades and our colleagues in the private sector have been treated abysmally and shamefully by having their pensions decimated, somehow we should be happy and willing to go along and let them decimate ours. And they want us to engage with them in a race to the bottom, as Ryan said, and also, to divide and rule us. And that's their intention. In actual fact, the facts are that our pension scheme is healthy, it's sustainable, the cost of public sector pensions is going down. The actual facts are that this government was not carrying out reform. This government's intention is to actually bring the whole public service pension down. That's what their intention is. Their intention is to rob us of our members' money in order to compensate for all the financial irresponsibility and the bankers' chaos that we are facing. That's what it's really about. So, where are we? We had some fantastic action, in March and June and November, and in fact the government did make some concessions, and I think members should be aware of that their action did bring some concessions. Not a lot, not enough. And UCU, like all the other unions, consulted our members once again, and we got back from them a huge mandate, a clear mandate, that this was unacceptable and that we should continue the campaign, continue the dispute, and that's what we're doing. And I believe that one of the reasons our members rejected the proposals was because they know the difference between what's fair and what's unfair. Let's see what the government thinks is fair. Bankers' bonuses continue unabated, yet further reductions in corporation tax. Last year, senior directors of FTSE 100 companies had a 49% pay rise, earning on average, as someone once said up there, £2.7 million. And to add insult to injury, in last month's budget, these millionaires had their tax reduced by Mr. Osborne, who of course is a fellow millionaire, from 50% to 45%. Your average chief executive stands to gain around £200,000 additional income next year. Now this is what they say is fair for us. In education, our pension contributions have already gone up. We know that we've all seen those increases in our pay packets. And of course we've got another 2 years of undisclosed increases to come. So that's the first thing. The change from RPI to CPI means that for lecturers, they are going to lose between £36,000 and £65,000 a year over a 25-year retirement period. And the raising of the retirement age obviously means you have to work longer even to get that reduced pension. But that wasn't all. In the budget, Osborne had another go, didn't he, at all pensioners. What he did was he cut the additional allowance, which affects those pensioners on the lowest pension the most. And he also created this link between longevity and the pension. So if there's any students here, I will say to them, new graduates are going to have to work until they're 71 to get a state retirement pension. Okay, and finally, of course, there's the divisive and detrimental effects of their plans to introduce regional pay. And I think we all know here, don't we? If you've got reduced regional pay, which it will be for us, if you've got reduced regional pay, then you're going to have reduced regional pensions. So it's all about pensions, pensions and deferred pay, so the two are linked inextricably together. So my question to the government is, who are the winners and who are the losers? And I think we all know the answer to that, don't we? They're the winners, the rich are getting more, we're the losers, the poor are getting less. And that's absolutely what's happening. But I think we need to give a warning to this government, this right-wing reactionary coalition government, because I think the people of this country demonstrated last week in the elections that they're wising up, aren't they? They're wising up to the cynical, there's all the C's in it, you know, the cynical, the calculated attacks, the corruption, all those C's being made on us, the ordinary hard-working people of this country, and also on the most vulnerable in our society, and I've called them a privileged clique. I didn't invent that description. I think I got it out of a newspaper article, but I'm going to read it anyway. By a privileged clique who epitomise the ruling class in this country. And when I say that, I just see Cameron in front of me, do you? So we need to make clear to this government that we are fighting back. We demand that they change their policies. We demand that they stop robbing us of the pensions that we've worked for, that we've paid for, and that we deserve at the end of our public service and at the end of our careers. And they need to understand that our campaign will continue. It's no good them coming out on the grass and saying, "Good job." This campaign will continue nationally until we get the justice and the pensions that we deserve. This fight, Mr. Cameron and Mr. Clegg, is far from over. I'd just like to finish off with something that I think Cameron and Clegg are having difficulty understanding, both the word and the concept, and that word is solidarity. Thank you very much.